AnswerStock begins now with man-child Matty Owens and veteran millionaire trader Superman. How's it going?
Good. How's everyone doing today?
Pretty good. Yourself?
Excellent.
Very good. Very good. So, topic is on the floor. What do you guys think is going to happen in February 2016? Now that the markets have dropped, are we due for more dropping or a little bit of a bounce? You tell us.
Well, I think it's always better to focus on individual stock setups, both long and short, than trying to predict the overall market because a lot of it's guessing.
You aren't allowed on CNBC. Get off CNBC forever.
Right.
You are going against what CNBC stands for, which is cocked, nuts, bullshit, and more cock.
I mean, I'll tell you what the market has been doing.
You are not a cock, and you are not full of bullshit. You are not allowed on CNBC.
Ever.
No bullshit allowed.
I think what the market has been doing and individual stocks have been doing has been going up and down in certain ranges. And so what I've more been trying to focus on is the psychology of certain individual stocks, the trading ranges that they're going up and down in with the market, and forming trade plans from that. But as far as what the market does in February, you know, there's a lot of factors that will play into that.
What do you think, Matty?
Oh, like I said last time we spoke, 1930 was key to hold. I think there's a lot of downside momentum still left in the overall market. Statistically speaking, February usually is a continuation move of January, and as we get to mid-month February, things can get very, very nasty very, very quickly. We're in kind of a covet zone right now statistically. Like this week alone has some bullish tendencies, but it's been bullish to some extent, but every pop again has just been a nice shorting opportunity, which I have taken full advantage of. So
yeah, I'm loving this failed bounce. I want absolute panic, partially because I want like a day or a week or a year off because I'm fat as shit and I just want to like chill for once. But at the same time, I think it's also good when it's a slower market. There's not as many plays. Students can really focus on one or two plays that are hot, and they can really learn rather than, the past few years there's been like 10, 20 plays every day. There's not much learning been going on because you're afraid of missing out on a play. So I'm all for the bear. I think we need a Sodom and Gomorrah-like, fire to just wipe out everybody. And, those of us who are prepared and safe and have seen stuff like this before, we are the future leaders like Russell Crowe and Noah. All right, let's get to today's first question. It is from Saad. And what is all of your guys' rules for holding stocks overnight? For example, ELMD is a big winner, earnings winner today. Should I hold this overnight? I'm already up about 10%. What would you do? This is for everybody.
I would take partial profits if I was up 10% for sure. And also, if you're asking that question, you probably shouldn't be stock trading, in my opinion.
Whoa! This is AnswerStock. They're supposed
I know,
to
but
ask
still,
questions.
you shouldn't ask questions if you
What,
should
are you
hold
not supposed to
something.
watch AnswerStock? I already have all the answers. I'm not going to watch AnswerStock. I'm going to create God stock.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's scary. That's a scary question for me when people ask.
That
But
is
the
not
truth
scary.
is,
You haven't seen scary questions. Someone in my chat room the other day said, hey, my broker isn't letting me put in orders on a Saturday. I woke up early to trade. Is there something wrong with my broker? That's a scary question, okay?
Anywho, I'm just saying, if you're up by 10% in my book, you should probably take partial, if not 75% profits into something like that, and then reevaluate the situation. Just like
agree.
if you make
Paul, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with Matt on every end of the spectrum that he mentioned. One is this market, what I'm teaching my students is you have to be much more aggressive, take profits, partial profits, full profits, because the market's going up and down, in a range right now. Now, some of you people think it's going to just crash, and maybe it's going to crash, but when you have profits long and short, you have to be much more aggressive taking them. And also, I do think that traders that are asking other people what they should do on a trade should be spending more time studying and learning before they're trading. And I think that's what Matt meant exactly. And that's why we teach, because we want to teach people how to be able to make their own, have their own trade plan. So.
Correct. That is a great answer, and it's not about following anybody else's alerts. It's not following anybody else's picks. You have to make your own plans. You have to decide what is comfortable for you. Some people are risk takers, and they're like, screw it. I'm just going to hold overnight. Some people are going to be like, I don't want any overnight risk. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. So you have to do what's right for you. And we're all different. This is what makes trading difficult. This is what makes teaching trading difficult. So be comfortable, Just because I say something that works for me, it's not necessarily going to work for you. You are in charge of your money. You are in charge of your comfort level. And never forget that. This is not like Vegas where you have to double down or lose everything. You can take partial profits. You can sell half your position. You can sell a third of your position. You can sell all of your position. It's up to you. The choice is yours. The stock market is pro-choice.
The choice is yours.
All right. Another question. And we have this one from Ben in Texas. Ben is asking about oil. Do you think oil will come back, or are we shit out of luck? Thank you for that beautiful question.
Go ahead, Matt.
No, it's fine. You can go ahead. You go first, Paul, because I'll follow up what you say.
What I've always said, in fact, since to the days, Matt and I have been asked this question since the day, we've been, learning, studying together. And I said the same thing. In fact, I wrote an article on thestreet.com, and it's about supply and demand. Right now, there's too much supply, and there's not enough demand. Until that equation substantively changes, then I think you're a fool to try and keep calling the oil bottom. Will there be short squeezes and popbacks like any bear market? Yes, but supply and demand has changed, and so far what I see, that hasn't changed. Some things that would change supply is cut back on supply by OPEC. Some things that would increase demand are less than likely now, but economy's growing strong. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
Matt, what do you think? What does the man boy think?
Yeah, no, so Paul wrote an article.
Have you seen the movie Boyhood? Is that a movie about you?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you seen the movie Boyhood? Is that about you?
The Boiler Room?
Boyhood.
Oh, no.
Or is Boiler Room about you, too? I don't know. You tell me what movie most resembles your life.
No, so Paul is absolutely right. He wrote an article called Don't Be a Hero, trying to basically catch the falling knife of the oil market. It's absolutely true. The only macroeconomic factor that plays into oil really is supply and demand, and it's really ran by OPEC. Think of OPEC like the Janet Yellen of that market. And until that supply-demand curve changes, oil will continue to drop. The most interesting thing that you got to keep in mind, though, is according to supply-demand, if oil stays at $25, $26 a barrel for more than 3 months, it will actually destabilize Russia, which that could be bad news bears for the rest of the Eurozone, because one day we may wake up and Russia's just chilling, invaded inside of another country like they did a couple of years ago. So it's at this level of oil, it could cause war. There's a bunch of stuff. It destabilizes certain countries. So it's a scary place overall, but for as terms of trading, yeah, I mean, the more it's just oversupply, and it's going to continue until someone does something. So it's over.
So for me, I don't try and guess commodity prices. I think it's a sucker's bet either way. There's so many factors. There's so much going on. There could be, a Saudi prince planning something next week right now with all of his little, brethren, and they're in their, chamber with all these concubines, and you don't know what they're saying, and then maybe he's planning something, and then one of the concubines kills him before he does his plan, and it's all hidden and covered up by the media, and this Saudi prince was just in a car crash. We don't know what's going to happen. So, I don't want to play those guessing games. I don't want to trust, a Saudi prince or a concubine and bet my money on either of them. I think it's a long shot, and I don't go to the racetrack at all. And even if I did, I wouldn't play the 50-1 favorites. And, if I did bet on the Super Bowl, I would have lost big because I would have bet on fucking Cam Newton. And he's a little bitch, and he let me down, and he let America down, and he let everyone down. So,
Cam. Yeah.
No, if I thought about betting on the Super Bowl, I was going to bet on the Panthers also. So.
But that's why we don't bet on sports, because people like Cam Newton let us down.
Right.
and it's a good, harsh, lesson on reality, and that's why it's better to bet on stocks where, especially for me, bet on failure, so.
Yeah, but we're not trying. The point is like when we talk about OPEC, we're not trying to determine overall directionality day to day. It's just the overall macro is if there's more supply, therefore demand will go down, and therefore the oil market will go down.
You could make an academic case for longs. You can make an academic case for shorts, and each one has 50 or 100 different indicators going for it, and yet you're going to know where oil is going. Is just, I'm sorry, that's not what I think, is going to make you a lot of money or make listeners a lot of money. Maybe you in particular, Maddie, because you are the man-boy genius. But listeners, a lot of people, they ain't geniuses. I'm not a genius. So for me, I have to think like, a dumb person. So never go full retard and never bet on against oil. These are simple rules ingrained in you when you get a bar mitzvah.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's a lot different, but so.
Cool. One more question from everybody. This is a good non-stock market question. What do you guys think about Instagram? This is from Johnny in Wichita, and Johnny wants to get on Instagram, but he wants to see if you guys have been enjoying it. He notices we're all on Instagram.
Paul.
Dead silence.
I personally enjoy Instagram both from a business marketing perspective and just from a social media user. You get to choose what you want to see in your just like you do on Facebook, and I think it's great.
Paul, what is it that you see on Instagram?
There's some business things. There's some individual friends.
Yeah, buddy, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, and I think it's very useful too, both professionally and personally. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, there you go.
Maddie, what do you think of Instagram?
I like Instagram. It's taken a while for me to get used to. I never.
It's complicated, like the Da Vinci Code.
I've never been into Twitter or Instagram, but when I started trading, it became a whole new thing for me. So
Twitter just crashed, by the way.
I'm sorry, what? Twitter?
Twitter just reported earnings down nearly 10%. Twitter is almost a penny stock. Pretty crazy how poorly managed a hot social media property is. I haven't seen anything this bad since MySpace.
They beat lowered estimates, but they guided revenue down pretty big. That's not.
They're just fucking terrible. They're fucking terrible. That's it.
I like Twitter. I like Twitter. Like we're talking about all the social. I actually like Twitter.
Me too.
Maybe one of the best out of all the social media. It's too bad.
Except for the fact that you guys are smart. You have to remember that you're millionaires. You're smarter than most people. Most people are like, 140 characters. Have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy? I mean, that's the majority of the world. They can't figure out Twitter. Instagram is more popular because it's simple pictures. Right. It's simple hashtags. Twitter, you actually have to make, like, if you want a lot of retweets, you have to make, like, good points. And most people are not capable of that. So for you guys, you have a different experience, That's what you have to think of. I see more than anybody of all of these different social platforms. I'm not trying to put down the human race. The human race does that on their own. But the point is that you have your own perspectives, and me, I have my own perspective, but I think I'm probably like one of the dumbest millionaires. You guys are too smart. So I'm trying to bring it down a level, I'm like, well, I have nothing here that proves that I'm an idiot, but I think I do that on every TV appearance pretty well. So. No, you guys are the minority. You're very smart. Paul, you're in Mensa, aren't you?
Haha.
You're not? Yeah. I thought you were in Mensa. Or Maddie, are you in Mensa?
No.
Who is in Mensa? You see, I don't even know who's in Mensa. Somebody I know is in Mensa, and I don't even know who it is. It's beautiful to be transparent. I think it's also good practice just to talk about your life. I know this is like all new with social media, but in the coming years, I'm excited to see the applications built on the simple applications right now. Like for social media, we're all basically, like those ape men, like just like hitting things with bones and playing with fire. That's basically where we are with social media. Imagine where we're going to be 5, 10, 20 years from now. So I just joined Snapchat. You like that, Paul? I follow you on Snapchat too.
I was, and let's say something because I meant to text you about that. happy to see you on Snapchat because I think that Snap Story is one of the most popular tools right now, and it's great for you. So I was glad to see you on there. I meant to send you a text about that.
It's just another thing to do. You know, I already have no time, so it's fine. I'll do it. Maddie, are you on Snapchat yet?
No, I had one bad experience with Snapchat. And
You sexted the wrong person? Did you sext a family member?
It was just, I don't want to go into it.
You were dating a girl named Melissa?
There was something I saw on there that I could never unsee.
Mom and Melissa, and they're right next to each other, and you sent it to the wrong person?
No. It's something one of my friends like snapped to me, and it was totally disgusting, and I just stopped going on there. I could never unsee it ever again. So
it happens. It happens.
You know. So Snapchat, it's okay by me, but I mean Twitter's good. I really like Periscope. I've been doing a couple of those. That's pretty cool.
You need to get on that too.
Yeah,
there's so much to do. There's so many social platforms. It's like
Periscope, I think, is if Twitter can pull themselves out of themselves, like that's one of the great. That's a really great tool. I mean, I can just
Periscope?
I can just be at my desk and just do that. So.
But isn't that what's the difference between Periscope and what we're doing now?
Well, it allows you to basically
nothing.
But what I'm saying is, it allows you just to like in the middle of the day, just be like, "Hey, let me get on here and ask." You know, people can ask questions. It's pretty cool.
That's for people with extra time.
No, I just didn't understand Periscope. That's why I thought it's just live streaming. So.
Yeah, it is.
Maddie, once you create a millionaire like Paul and I have, you don't have extra time to be like, "Oh, let's just chat." Like, we are inundated with people hitting us up, and Paul is inundated with women being like, "Please, I want to have your baby." And we can't just do that with everybody. We need to cut them off. Be like, "I'm sorry, okay? This is not Delivery Man. That movie sucked." So we have to be a little selfish with our time.
Paul, how did our shout-out go that one time? Did you get a lot of TV emails?
Yes, I did get some messages.
Paul can't handle it. There's so many. It is insane, okay? Like, we need to be more efficient with our time. We're going to finish this episode right now. Paul has to go back to, like, you know, his lady callers. Matt has to go to his hair appointment. I got to go to my trainer. Hit up admin@timothysykes.com for AnswerStock. We'll answer your questions next week.
Thanks.